Alien visitation has been occurring on this planet for hundreds of thousands of years, depending on who you talk to. The extraterrestrials have long had the technological ability to travel the stars with relative ease. The ships, or saucers if you prefer, which they fly, must be capable of immense speeds. That old sci-fi trope of warp drives and hyperjumps may be true. Today, humanity is approaching these levels of technological ability, and soon we may be able to travel the stars with the same ease as our alien cousins. Declassified files have shown that the US government has been working on such technology as Stargates, antigravity, and warp drives. Let's take a look. Welcome to IF, videos on history and mystery. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss a video again.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. The final liftoff of Atlantis on the shoulders of the space shuttle.
The Freedom of Information Act has forced the release of a tsunami of files that were once classified and has given many researchers a goldmine of once secret intelligence reports to comb through. These files show that the US government has long been researching and investigating UFO sightings. This keen interest stemming from the chance to discover some kind of advanced tech that would see the United States gain a strategic advantage over its enemies. The AATIP, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, has plowed billions of dollars into research, and this money has left us with a paper trail. The group is said to have been working 38 projects. These covered a wide variety of fields and were overseen and managed by the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. The first document shows technologies that belong in the latest epic space movie. We see advanced forms of propulsion, which hint at deep space travel, wormhole technology, making space jumps a real thing, and if we are jumping into new areas of space, we best be protected, so an invisibility cloak has been thrown in for good measure. We obviously cannot know how successful they were in developing these projects. Any equipment or craft that could have been built would obviously be kept highly secret. This links to discoveries reportedly made by Gary McKinnon. The British man is said to have hacked the Pentagon and NASA. Gary faced extradition and prosecution in the US for his alleged crimes that were said to have occurred in 2001. This was until British Prime Minister stepped in and protected him. McKinnon claimed that he had discovered information that would be world-changing. He said that he saw proof of a fleet of vessels manned and operated by the United States military. The vessels were long and looked like satellites. They had domes on the top and along the bottoms, and oddly, they seemed to be held together without the use of rivets or welding. He could not see any seams on the craft and mentioned that they did look almost alien-like. We must remember that this was in the days of dial-up and before 4K, so image quality would not be the best. His story does, however, point to a long-existing secret program going on above the Earth's atmosphere. This, combined with Trump's public statements on Space Force One, and we can conclude that there are some ongoing research programs being carried out by the country in space. The second document shows the logistical and engineering aspects of these projects. It contains project titles like Metamaterials for Aerospace Applications, Technological Approaches to Controlling External Devices in the Absence of Limb-Operated Interfaces, Metallic Glasses, and Space Communication Implications of Quantum Entanglement. The third file has a list of technologies that could be used to propel ships like those reported by Gary McCannon. We can see projects named aneutronic fusion propulsion, quantum tomography of negative energy states in a vacuum, negative mass propulsion, and the last one on the list being the sci-fi staple of high energy laser weapons. These projects certainly seem to have been dealing in cutting edge science and would be expensive to develop, but with the huge black budget money that the Defense Intelligence Agency has access to, they could certainly fund this research. And even if they were successful in only one or two of the projects listed, it would be of such an advantage to the US that investment would be seen as a worthwhile one. We must also remember that we are dealing with a super secret agency, and that they employ all the tricks they can to keep what they are really doing out of the public eye and absent from public record. Could these programs really be cover for something else? The fantastical technologies that are alluded to in the titles certainly catch the eye and would be great diversions from projects that were a little more mundanely named but were where the real breakthroughs were being made. Getting back to Space Force One, they requested $270 million in funding for the year 2020, and this budget request is considered to be a modest amount. The money would be used to establish US Space Command headquarters. Now there is an organization that would need and use the technologies that were listed in these released files. The Air Force would incorporate this new military wing, and it has traditionally been the Air Force that has been involved in all things UFO on and over US soil. They also have the locations that would be needed to test the technologies, in particular the propulsion technology. Going way back to the days of Operation Oxcart and the SR-71, the Air Force has always been at the bleeding edge of technology. There is no reason for this to end, and in fact, it looks like they are getting ready to ramp things up. Are we living in the age of mobile space defense bases? An era that will see vehicles that will have the ability to fly in and out of the atmosphere at will? Are we seeing the building of a fleet of interstellar craft that will be capable of hyperjumping their way through the universe? The future is here if we believe in the projects that have been outlined in these documents. We are living in a science fiction world, and if this is the case, we must ask some important questions. Why are we still fighting over oil? Why are so many still living in poverty? And who have we met amongst the stars? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here on the channel, hit that red button, like and share. You can catch the latest by searching We Are If. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.